Because Nintendo is like a pick-me girl. They can be only one.
I'm a bird, mother. I'm a bird.
As everyone knows, the Nintendo versus Palworld thing is still ongoing, and apparently, with Palworld fighting back Nintendo now, Nintendo went back into their patent and added even more things there to screw over Palworld. And keep in mind, this is not the only lawsuit Nintendo is involved in these days. Nintendo lawsuit with Palworld just got a whole lot worse.
Frittata!
I keep forgetting that Nintendo is picking a legal fight with just about everyone, and you lose track of this stuff quite easily. Everything from emulators and ROM sites to the bricking situation in Brazil, but we haven't had a chance to get an update on the Palworld situation.
I wish there was also more updates on the lawsuit in Brazil happening.
Yep.
As you may recall, a few months back, we got an update that Palworld had to remove gameplay mechanics in order to appease Nintendo.
Yeah, so it's like the whole sphere thing where like the pals now, like you cannot chuck them. They have to come out like right next to you, and like you cannot use specific pals to glide.
Ridiculous.
Nintendo, who claimed that using pals as gliders was a direct infringement on a patent Nintendo has. Of course, this pissed everybody off because who the hell is going to actively root for a corporation outright shutting down gameplay mechanics in other video games because they think they own the very concept of that gameplay mechanic? This was clearly Nintendo abusing their power to try and eliminate any sort of competition, because power
It's really rich coming from a company, especially for a game that also stole ideas.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And all of a sudden, oh, you gliding? Oh, lawsuit.
Sega should have won.
You take a shit? Oh, lawsuit. I swear to God, soon we cannot take even a single breath without getting sued.
You live on Earth, you step on the ground, lawsuit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Palworld's popularity could not be denied. As we know, Palworld was the second most played game ever.
And guess what? Even through all of these lawsuit thing happening and all this crap Nintendo is throwing at them, I'm still enjoying Palworld way more than I ever enjoyed Pokemon games. They keep on adding such awesome additions to the games, which keeps on making everyone come back to it. If they really think people who are enjoying Palworld, what are they thinking? Like, every single time, like, people are enjoying Palworld, Nintendo like, yeah, we cannot have that. But the fact that even with everything happening, Palworld, so you know what? Our players deserve the next patch. Here's a Palworld X Terraria patch, which, by the way, oh my god, it's so good. Wanna play our competitive game competitively? Lawsuit. Smash reference.
Ever on Steam, to the point it surpassed Counter-Strike 2. And for those of you who do not have a concept of how big that is, then let me throw you out some sales figures. As of February 22, 2024, over 15 million copies have been sold, with over 32 million players. You see, numbers like that frustrate Nintendo, and I don't know why, because they have zero
because Nintendo is like a pick-me girl. They can be only one.
interest in selling on PC. Nintendo really believes consoles are still the future, and they do whatever they can to prevent the PC platform from having anything that resembles what Nintendo makes, but better. Because competition is bad for them. They are very, very protective of their platform, to the point that they try to sabotage other games to keep their spot. And well, today we have a huge update on that ongoing lawsuit between Pocket Pair and Nintendo. That is sort of good news, because as it turns out, they may not get their way. And any single time Nintendo doesn't have their way, an innocent child is cured of cancer. Nintendo patent lawsuit against Palworld has taken an unexpected turn, with the Japanese gaming giant modifying one of the patents central to the case mid-suit?
That cannot be legal, right?
No.
Like, just switching out the patent mid-lawsuit. Like, how is that even allowed? They're like, oh yeah, we forgot something. Wait, what does it even say? The move raises questions about the viability of Nintendo's legal strategy against Palworld, and it's particularly unusual due to the language used in the new patent. They changed the language of the patent?
Move raises
No.
questions about the viability of Nintendo's legal strategy against Palworld, and is particularly unusual due to the language used in the new patent. In a new development, Nintendo recently questioned an amendment of one of its patents in suit from the Japan Patent Office. GamesFray reports that the patent in question, JP7528390, describes a system for seamlessly switching between writable objects or mounts. While the request was granted, an examiner deemed
What do you mean are they trying to patent mounts? Look, I know we were joking about it last time we were talking about this, them patenting mounts and stuff. What? Is that what they're actually going for?
I feel like at this point, Palworld headquarters, like the people who made Palworld and Craftopia, needs to just move out of Japan. At this point, they'll have to go to international law, and it will shield them pretty much.
I'm more wondering why Sony is not getting more involved because Palworld is on the Sony now. Okay, so Sony is partnered with Pocket Pair as of July 2024, but it's specifically with Sony Music Entertainment. The joint venture was created to expand Palworld's brand through licensing and merchandising while excluding the game's development and distribution. That's why they're not stepping up.
that the revised version of the anti-Palworld patent did not introduce any new technical matter. What it did introduce was a reworked claim worded as a large sequence of run-on sentences, numbering 260 words, which can be found on pages 5 and 6. This claim, which
I'm sorry, but like even the wording they're using, writable objects or mount, it's like, well then, the whole porn industry will have to be sued by Nintendo. I'm gonna shut up now.
describes conditions for triggering the ride switching implementation includes a provision that it works in the air even when a non-flying mount is selected. Games phrase patent analyst Florian Moeller describes this phrase as highly unusual. I've been following patent litigation for 15 years for the better part of that period as a consultant, and I have seen many claims that were amended, but I have never seen even when or even if in a patent claim. He explains, the amendment itself may have been prompted by Pocket Pair previously arguing Palworld never implemented the mount switching system described in Nintendo's patent. In that context, this expanded claim appears less clear. Amending a patent in suit mid-case is an uncommon move, potentially indicating that Nintendo feared its intellectual property could be invalidated based on how the proceedings were unfolding. This turn of events also suggests that Nintendo still lacks a solid basis to bring a lawsuit into the United States. Not only has Pocket Pair recently removed the allegedly infringing features from Palworld, but it's also simultaneously argued that those elements were never infringing to begin with. On top of claiming the patents themselves are invalid, as a result, Palworld has been—
I mean, technically, even due to the fact, like, besides claiming that, oh, the whole throwing the sphere and the POW appears there, gliding can be patented. First of all, I don't even think it should be legally possible to patent something like that. Second, there's a lot of games that do that. And third,
A lot.
they only did that after Palworld became popular. So it's like, I don't understand how this is not just right away dismissed unless there's some money involved.
become what Mueller calls a moving target for infringement, one that Nintendo and the Pokemon Company's attorneys are finding difficult to hit.
I don't even get it.
Now, if that doesn't let you know how petty of a corporation Nintendo is, I don't know what else will.
I think the only thing pettier than Nintendo are the Nintendo shows. They will see all the facts that Nintendo is doing and still have a complete meltdown every single time I upload a video. about Nintendo Palworld, they will have a meltdown in the comments about it with all the facts in front of them. They will still go, nah. Like, what?
No, but also to be fair, there are some level-headed Nintendo fans, and it's usually decent discussion all around.
Yeah, no, we have, even in our community, we have Nintendo fans who themselves are saying this is fucked up, like inspired.
I wasn't gonna call him out, but yeah.
I'm gonna call him out. Nintendo seems determined to ruin all their hard work.
You mean stolen work? Yeah.
Yeah. Literally. Oh man, oh man.
Indeed, this is Nintendo not suing for the sake of trying to win. They are just suing to hurt Pocket Pair financially and make their life harder. Because there's no real case here. There's no way Nintendo's gonna win this. But if they can
They're trying to bleed them dry off of money.
Yeah.
Out of money.
make Pocket Pair's development life a living hell, then that's just as big of a...
And the funny thing is, Nintendo is going after Palworld, and Palworld is still delivering more updates than any of the Nintendo games.
Nintendo actually update games? Nah,
I mean, if you pay money.
I guess so.
W for them, to financially cripple them, and to try and intimidate anybody else from succeeding the way Pocket Pair has. Nintendo is an evil company. I don't care if you think their games are the best thing since penicillin. Nothing they make justifies this. And I dare you as a Nintendo fanboy to defend it.
You want to see me do it again?
Which I know you will anyway. But the truth is,
Oh, they will. They really will.
Nintendo should have just hired the Palworld guys to make the next Pokemon.
Exactly.
They either should have done that or just gave them the okay to make it.
No. You know what they should have done? They should have thrown money at them, completely absolve them into the company, and make them work on every single Pokemon game. I mean, yes, we would be robbed of good games.
Yeah, we would. Like Riot Games, they did that with that one free-to-play fighting game that a company was working on, Radiant Entertainment.
Yeah, but
They just bought
it's in development limbo now.
Radiant Entertainment released a free-to-play fighting game, and they picked up a lot of people, and later on, Riot Games just yoinked them, and now Riot Games has a fighting game division. That's the company.
Yeah, but it's still in development limbo though.
this Pokemon is not that great, and you know it. Because if Pokemon was that fantastic, why would Nintendo be this threatened? It's because Palworld is implementing gameplay mechanics that they should have been implementing well over 10 fucking years ago. It's clear as day that if Nintendo doesn't win a single one of the 3 patents they...
Also, Palworld is a lot of fun because there's a lot more to do, and you can also use mods there.
Yeah.
Like, I have Genshin Impact characters in my Palworld. Up until last patch. Now I have to wait for them to update it. Sad.
Yep.
claimed, because people seem to forget, but it's 3 patents they are claiming against Pocket Pair, then they'll just move on to another target as they endlessly pursue a legal battle against Pocket Pair. Essentially, it's a goalpost that will be shifted for a long time until Nintendo can settle on something. Why else would they try to update the wording on one of their patents mid-lawsuit? I'll tell you.
I mean, instead of spending so much money on lawyers and changing patents every time, they could have also just, made a good game.
Why? It's because...
Imagine if they put in that effort and all that money into making an actual Pokemon game that people can play on handhelds, consoles, and PC. Imagine how much money they would literally... They wouldn't know where to fit it. But instead, they decide to take a fistful of money and shove it out the lawyer's ass.
Because the previous wording just would not hold up in court. They're essentially changing the rules of chess halfway through the game. The fact that they haven't settled on any proper definitions or description of their patent shows that they know they don't have an actual case here. Because Pocket Pair has had to force themselves to take gameplay.
I have to read this comment. Someone commented, Nintendo is a law firm that sometimes makes games.
True.
mechanics out of their game for this patent, but then they go on and reword it after they've done that? Pocket Pair should have every right in the world to put everything back in their game after that. How they have to be forced to remove gameplay mechanics while Nintendo gets to rewrite their patent mid-lawsuit? I'm questioning how any of that's even legal, because it's most certainly not ethical. You wouldn't have to do that if you knew you had a solid case on your hands. Moeller, a games industry veteran and former Blizzard consultant known for the likes of Foss Patents blog, notes for GamesFray that litigants don't change a patent in the middle of an infringement case unless they feel the patent is at a fairly high risk of being deemed invalid in its original form. That's exactly what Nintendo has done, and while that doesn't mean they always lose, cases where patents are modified in this way, it does shake the certainty Nintendo projected when it filed the lawsuit last year. Of course they did. They decided to patent these things last minute as well. Let's not forget. Nintendo patented all of this as a response to the success of Palworld. They saw it as a threat to their Pokemon franchise, which I'm not sure why they did, because they're two different audiences. People who play Palworld are legally old enough to drive, and people who play Pokemon haven't hit puberty yet.
I mean, listen, now hear me out. Pokemon got a certain aesthetic that people who are not old enough to drive tend to lean toward. And if you're old enough and you're a Pokemon fan, that's okay. You grew up on that stuff. It's nostalgia. Like, you like the whole world. I understand that.
No, they just got lazy. Like, damn, it's small. You know, they just got lazy. Seal, Stelio, Beyond, Devgok, Poplio, Spiel. If you look at their new stuff, right? It's just, I think they just got lazy. Also, hold up, wait a minute.
What the hell? Fair. What are the young kids are playing nowadays? What? They don't play Nintendo games anymore, right?
And you can tell because it's people like Griffin Gaming who buy these things. Moreover, the amended claims are just plain weird in Moeller's informed opinion. Looking at the new verbiage shared and machine translated by the Japan Patent Office, his read of the amendments is understandable. The patent in question relates to the writing or mounting tech that Nintendo has in so many words and files compared to the PAL mounting in Palworld. There's particular emphasis on smoothly switching from writing one character, creature, or another to another, like, as Moeller says, jumping from a running horse to a flying dragon, and how this relates to the physics of the game world. Brace yourself, not just for the patent speak, but for machine translated patent speak. One segment from one of the corrections reads, "The computer causes the selected boarding character to board the player character so that the player character can move, and even when any boarding character other than the aerial boarding character capable of moving in the air is the currently selected boarding character."
What the hell?
Bro.
What? Did I just have a stroke?
What did you say?
And the first operation input is given when the player character is in the air. The computer causes the aerial boarding character to appear in the virtual space and causes the player character to board.
I don't know why, but this just reminds me how, like, you know, when people were accusing Marvel Rivals of copying Overwatch, and now Overwatch added a mode where it's literally like Marvel Rivals from like third party perspective and stuff like that.
Third person?
Yes, they added a mode as like an experiment if people like it.
Did they?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
The aerial boarding character instead of the currently selected boarding character from among the boarding characters.
Boomhauer, I didn't understand a word you just said. Damn legalese.
Now, let me tell you, you're boring this character reading this right now. Indeed, what Moeller says is true. This is worded in such a strange way that really specifies the exact patenting. And from what I'm gathering here, it has all entirely to do with how seamless and smooth it is, just like Moeller pointed out. Because So many games do this. The ability to mount and mount freely. You said mount. Yes, this
Shut up.
Wait,
Shut up.
it's okay. I'm sorry, but the Pokemon game, right? Is that a freaking turkey? It was a turkey Pokemon.
Yeah, I said Nintendo is running out of ideas, so now they're just
Gripping at the barrel.
freedom exists in several other games, but it seems the problem Nintendo has with them is how well they get it to transition.
But even compare the graphics. Holy cow.
It's different aesthetic, so I can't really compare it. I do know that Nintendo should have added more ambiance to it.
Specifically, the ability of being able to throw out another PAL that you mount in the air while you're on a PAL mounted on the ground, and then being able to switch to that one that you just threw out in the air. Look, I can't even begin to pretend to understand patent language. I'm sure in a lot of cases like this, the specifications are oftentimes narrowed down to their most descriptive detail possible to swing the smallest technicalities in their favor. But in this case, this more complex language is all done because of a rework to the patenting. The labored specificity and complexity of the example, coupled with the even when wording in the second clause of the snippet, gave Mahler a pause. He described the wording as extremely contorted, trying to complicate things for the purpose of putting up a huge smokescreen. Also zeroing in on the use of even, dubbed to emphatic and subjective for patent claims. He says the amended claim is almost a Hail Mary, a desperate attempt to win by doing something odd. However, presiding judge Motoyuki Nakashima is very experienced in patent law. He can't be gaslighted by strange claim language.
Well, we'll see.
Yo, imagine Nintendo having the balls to gaslit the judge.
Like I said, we'll see, because if we know anything, is that money rules the world.
These corrections were approved, but on the grounds that they do not introduce any new technical matter. We respect Nintendo's true innovations, which are technical in nature and not game rule patents, Mueller concludes. It's just hard to make sense of what Nintendo is doing in the Palworld context, and maybe Nintendo itself is slowly but surely getting to the point where it can't make sense of it anymore.
What gave it away? All the gibberish about the mount? Okay, like, the chaotic evil in me kinda a little bit wants to see where will it head if Nintendo patents mounts. Will they go after Blizzard? Will they go after Square Enix? Will they go after every single MMO game? Like, a part of me wants to see where this would head.
Yeah.
Imagine Nintendo suing every single game that has a mount.
See, the best I can assume here is Nintendo's just prolonging this. It's a clear indicator that there is no confidence going forward.
No. It's not just no confidence, but it's also just trying to squeeze out the rest of the money that Palworld has. Like, obviously, Pocket Pair, they're gonna have way less money on them. And Nintendo has very deep pockets.
The sad thing here is that Nintendo doesn't even need to win in order to inflict damage on Pocket Pair because the damage has already been done. Without even having settled on anything here, the developers have already had to strip elements from their game, even without having been told to do so by any authority. The major viable threat that's left behind is if they do win, what does that mean for the rest of the gaming industry? Will it discourage anybody else from providing competition to Nintendo? Are previous games that exist right now at this moment that fall under this patent, are they also going to have to remove those gameplay mechanics, or are we solely targeting Pocket Pair?
They're solely targeting Pocket Pair.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, like I said, they would have won simply by putting out a better game. Because if they would have made a Pokemon game like Palworld, everyone's nostalgia would have just kicked in.
Yeah, and I can simplify that all of what you just said. Nintendo has skill issue.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Of course, Nintendo. is solely targeting Pocket Pair, because other than Pokemon, this is probably the second most popular and successful monster collecting game. Something that can finally compete in the millions of sales alongside Nintendo, without Nintendo's name attached to it, with striking resemblance to a lot of the designs too. They've taken this game's success personal, because they hate players having options instead of always having.
They had a lot of things. I will say, even though Pocket Pair removed a few non-key features from Palworld, it hasn't diminished their game or popularity. First, thank you so much for the support, Starwind. We really
Thank you for the
appreciate it.
support.
Did it remove any key elements from Palworld? No. The posts I've seen on Reddit, people saying, oh, they removed this, so it's no longer good. If you go and look at their profiles, they're Nintendo shills. Just trying to trash talk Palworld. For anyone who actually played the game, it didn't change. If anything, Palworld just amped up even more shit in the game.
Yeah, they doubled down on content and they're releasing it for
Mhm.
free. There's no DLC.
Yeah.
Not only that, if they did release DLC, people will buy it.
I would
Because-
100% buy it. Like, if Palworld would release a DLC, you know it would be good.
To turn to Nintendo and their slop-ass modern-day Pokemon titles. That same level of desperation they have to try and secure the smallest W over Pocket Pair, that energy should be matched in their desire to improve Pokemon. But instead, Game Freak is doing things like showing us the type of games they're capable of making when they aren't strictly developing for Nintendo. To project your own shortcomings onto this upcoming studio,
All of this just makes me, like, legitimately, just makes me want to go buy merch from Palworld. Go buy the graphic novel they'll be releasing, even though it's kind of freaky. Like, all of this just makes me want to support Palworld more.
that has found success is pathetic. Having been following this case, seeing Nintendo try to change the wording on their patenting paints a company who is desperate and insecure. As it stands now, it seems things are not working in their favor, if that's the measure they had.
Would it be too far going with saying that Pokemon, well, Nintendo actually, is acting like that insecure ex-girlfriend who keeps stalking your new girlfriend and keeps saying, it should have been me. It should have been me.
It should have been me.
to take. And that's good because we need Nintendo to lose this, as the outcome of this lawsuit could change the direction of the industry in a negative way. Always keep in mind, 9 out of 10 times, everything that favors Nintendo hurts everyone else. That is how they choose to operate. And for that reason alone, I will not support or ever spend a dime on them ever again. And I actually mean it, unlike everybody else, which is why you should show it by hitting like, commenting, sharing, and subscribing, if you so choose to, of course. That being said, I'll see you in the next video.
I never heard of this channel before, but god damn it, I love this video. Who recommended this on Discord? Okay, lately you guys been recommending so many good channels. I love this. I need to check out more videos here. But yeah, Nintendo, honestly, I am so over Nintendo. I cannot even bring it upon myself to load up my Animal Crossing. And it used to be my relaxing game before sleeping.
Yeah. Fly high. Check it. Spread my wings high, reach the sky. Feathers in the wind, never asking why. I'm a bird, motherfucker, I'm a bird. Soaring high, yeah, that's the word. Flying free like you never heard.